Welcome to the Charleston CFO Council. This organization was co-founded in 2015 by Robert Bendetti and Mark Carmichael in order to provide a networking and educational forum for senior financial executives to share best practices, to discuss current financial issues, and to learn about current topics related to the performance of their job.
Pat, how are you doing this afternoon?
Doing great, Robert. How about yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm excited to do this. I've always enjoyed hanging out with you at the breakfast meetings, so it's kind of fun to mix it up and do this interview distant via, sort of WebEx. This is awesome.
Good deal. Glad we could make it happen.
Well, Pat McDermott is the treasurer and controller at the Beach Company. Do you get paid twice for being the treasurer and the controller?
Unfortunately, just one.
That's ridiculous. He's also a CPA and a CGMA. That's a Certified Global Management Accountant. Is that right?
Correct.
And you got your undergrad in business management / accounting at the College of Charleston. Is that right?
Correct.
Well, Pat, you've got a super long list of civic organizations that you're a member of. You're very active in your church. But the things that I wanted to bring up that others might not know about you, number one is I think even though you are a born and Charlestonian, went to college at Charleston, live in Charleston now, I think you lived in Philly for a little while and went up north.
I did. I lived in South Philadelphia for a brief period of time when I was in elementary school age. My dad was in the military. He was in the Marine Corps. And for a period of time, his last duty station was in Philadelphia. That's where he retired. And we moved south after that.
And one interesting thing I found about you is that you have what appears to be at least two very spoiled grandkids. Okay, if I can tell from the pictures, those kids are just spoiled rotten.
They are special children to my wife and I, but you're right. We try and spoil them every chance we get.
And like my son, I think your grandson is in Scouts. Is that correct?
He is. He thoroughly enjoys scouting, and he is still holding out hopes that he'll be able to get to do some summer camping this summer. So we'll see.
Well, cool. Well, Pat, we're going to get right into it. Question number one, what is your favorite business book and why?
Okay. Robert, mine, it isn't a traditional business book in the sense that some of the others have been quoting, the 1 Minute Managers, stuff like that. My book was written by the CEO of Starbucks, a guy by the name of Howard Schultz. And the book was called Pour Your Heart Into It. And it talked through his story of coming on board with Starbucks and all the stuff that they go through. I got a couple of quotes from the book that I'd like to read just to sort of pique some people's interest to make them want to pick the book up and read it because it is well worth the read. Everybody knows Starbucks by name, obviously. And this guy, Howard Schultz, is a very interesting character. I think 4 years ago, he actually made a short run as a presidential candidate, but then dropped out of the race because of all the other stuff going on. But a couple of the quotes that I found interesting from him is Starbucks is not in the coffee business serving people. We're in the people business serving coffee. And when you're surrounded by people who share a passionate commitment around a common purpose, anything is possible. And in times of adversity and change, we really discover who we are and what we're made of. That's a couple of the concepts that he kind of portrays in his book. And again, I would strongly encourage anybody to pick it up and read it. Very good read.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic. And that transitions perfectly to question number two. Pat, what is the best business advice you have ever received?
Kind of two things, Robert. I've always kind of subscribed to the golden rule from the Bible, treating your neighbors and others as you would want to be treated yourself. Try and do that with all of my employees and staff. and try and empower them as a result, and try and treat them the way I wanted to be treated. My second bit of advice kind of came from my father, and he was a career military person in the Marine Corps, and then retired and held some management positions locally. But his advice to me when I graduated from college, because I sought his advice on when would I know the right job and the right thing to do with my life. And he said, find something that you truly enjoy and pour yourself into it. And when it gets to be more like a job or work and you're not enjoying yourself anymore, that's the sign that it's time to find a new calling in life and to move on. And I did that in my first 18 years out of college, worked with a local CPA firm, got kind of burned out and bored towards the end. And a real good friend of mine that I went to church with and a Sunday school classmate was Bill Edenfield, who was the CFO of Piggly Wiggly at the time, had met and been in a business meeting with Charlie Way, who was chairman of the board of the beach company. And he made a comment to Bill then that they were in the market to try and find somebody to replace their controller who had been with them at that time for 35 years. So, Bill knew I was kind of getting burned out and kind of put me onto the lead at the beach company. And it's been my second gig, and I'm still having fun down here. So no chances of moving on yet.
Well, you are not a job hopper, Pat.
No, not at all.
Question number 3, what is a new habit or a new tool that you've recently started using that you found beneficial?
Okay. Well, in this period of craziness that we've been in for the last, I guess, 6 weeks or so now, I've come to love and know the product Zoom, the Cisco WebEx meeting that you're using today. Our construction subsidiary also uses Microsoft Teams quite a bit. We're holding online team chat meetings. Obviously couldn't be living and working without my VPN connection that I've grown to love. And just the ability to work remotely. I never would have envisioned 2 months ago, first of all, this was going to happen, but that we would be able to carry on our business as well as we've been able to for the last 6 weeks. But I really, I have a weekly call with my department, and I've told them for the last several weeks, this is all good and all, but I really can't wait to see y'all all back in the office because I really miss seeing the faces that I like to work with and be around.
That's good. That's good, Pat. And it'll be interesting to see over, let's say, a year from now, how we as professionals have learned you can get work done in the office or remote, and what that means for business as usual. What is business as usual in the future? It'll be interesting to see what portion of it's in person, what portion of it is remote. So it's a big new world.
Yeah, I forgot about one other tool that I've with this video online stuff. One tool that I've learned to use is this, because I like to give the old either thumbs up, thumbs down when people are asking, how are things going kind of thing. So that's my other tool is my thumb.
That's so simple, but it's true. It's easier than like unmuting myself and doing whatever. I just go, boom. And that way you can go through all the people you've got. Yeah. Yeah, agreed, man. Good. Question number 4. What is the best part of your job?
Robert, the thing that I enjoy most is solving problems and helping provide solutions, whether they're tax, accounting, just everyday life advice, or trying to help people solve problems and move on with their days.
Amen. What about something personal that you'd like to share that maybe we don't know about you?
Well, you gave away my tips about my 2 grandchildren that I really enjoy every day. But in my recent past, I did get the opportunity to serve as the president of the State CPA Association. That was in 2007. That was a very rewarding experience. It actually was a multi-year commitment because you come in as the treasurer of the organization and succeed up through the various seats before you become the president. And then a couple of years after that term ended, I was asked by the then board and executive committee to come back on as South Carolina's elected member to the AICPA Governing Council. And I was able to do that. You're able to serve up to 3-year terms on the AICPA Council. So from 2010 to 2015, I served as South Carolina's only elected member to the AICPA Council and thoroughly enjoyed that.
Wow, that's fantastic, man. And during your tenure, well, I've seen a lot of improvement and really impressive things going on with the whole team. You know, it takes a team within the South Carolina CPAs and the AICPA. So kudos to you. That's fantastic. Question number 6, last question. It happened so fast, Pat. And that is, what didn't I ask that I should have asked? And what's your answer to that?
I thought you may ask me how I got interested in the CFO Council and who got me interested in the CFO Council. And my answer to that is Doug Snyder. In our service to the CPA Association, I was with Doug. I think we were serving on a committee together, and we were in Columbia at a meeting, and Doug told me he had attended, I think, the very first meeting that you had. And at the time, he said it was maybe 15 or 20 people, very informal, breakfast meeting. But
what did he say?
I thought he said it was
15 or 20 people. I'm kicking them out.
But he encouraged me to come out and attend some of the meetings, and I took him up on it, and I've thoroughly enjoyed the commitment of coming once a month to the meetings.
Well, Pat, maybe you can help me out with something. Doug did an interview a week ago, and in it, I knew that he played basketball, and he was a walk-on. And then he asked me, "Do you know how many points that I scored?" And I don't know, and I can't find that out. So, do you know?
I do not know the answer, but I will see what we can do to try and get the answer to that, because it piqued my interest when I played the interview the other day.
Okay. Yeah, we got to find that out.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, that's good. Well, Doug's an awesome guy. He did attend the first meeting, and he has attended every meeting we've ever had in the history of the CFO Council over the past 5 years. I don't even have that record. My co-founder doesn't have that record. No one has that record. There's one person, Clayton. Clayton has only missed one. He only missed the first meeting. So Doug is the OG. Well, Pat, that's fantastic. I really enjoyed getting to talk to you and learning more about you. And I noticed a theme, and it's the book. I wasn't surprised that you like that book, Serving, Passion, Purpose. I saw a theme when you spoke, Pat, how you serve. You have a calling. You serve others at your company. You serve others at your church. You serve others at the AICPA and the South Carolina CPAs. And by the pictures on your Facebook account, which you need to lock down, but I still have access to at the moment, and we'll be stealing pictures from, you serve your family and your grandkids. So you're an awesome guy, and I'm lucky I get to know you.
Have a great day, Robert. Thanks for the commitment you've made to the CFO Council of Charleston. We all enjoy it every month.
Thanks, man. Have a great day.